Okay, so now we've got everything in place to take our newfound trail braking skill out onto the racetrack. We've taken our body position courses, our line choice courses, we've been through our braking courses. We've got everything covered. If you're still fuzzy on any of those, jump onto the forums, ask for some help, and definitely get everything tightened up and completely understood before we jump into this next lesson. Another thing to remember is that coming into this lesson and the technique we're going to talk about in it is just a stepping stone. This isn't going to be our end game. We're not going to always ride like this, but it's a great way to build up to being confident with our trail braking on the racetrack. And as always, it's super important when you first go to implement this. We really need to be at that 6 out of 10 pace. And so let's get started. A great way to really get our trail braking out onto the racetrack is to be lighter for longer on our brakes. Now what that means, you can see in the diagram here. Now what you see here is a couple of different braking curves. The dotted line is one that we've probably used in the past. A lot of brake pressure straight up and down. This typically causes us to overslow for the corner, however. So what we want is to be somewhat forced to use our brakes for longer into the turn, to really have to implement that trail braking. Now how we do that is, first off, we back our pace down as we've already talked about. We're going to back our brake markers further away from the corner, and we're going to use less brake pressure initially. We're going to let the speed carry us in there. We're going to have a little bit higher velocity going in, but using our trail braking technique and our body position and our line choice, we're going to hold our brakes for longer. So again, this is just a stepping stone where we're really backing our pace down. We're bringing our brake markers back further away from the corner, and we're having that initial brake pressure be much lighter. And this isn't the end game though. Ultimately, we are going to bring that brake pressure back up, but once we've learned trail braking, we'll also be able to bring our markers back forward closer to the corner and probably go even a little bit further as well once we really develop that trail braking skill. So this is a great technique, a great way to go and really start to develop your trail braking skill and get comfortable with it in a whole bunch of different corners. So this wraps up our lesson here, and in the next lesson we're going to talk about another way that you can really start to utilize trail braking in changing your lines a little bit, changing your whole approach to some corners. We'll talk about that in our next lesson.